Mr. Drew, here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 222. Going to continue working on these character concepts, on this character in particular. And yeah, man, we're just going to keep it moving on to the next piece of uh, that photo bashing that I did a while back. And just re-rendering those more accurate to the character design and things like that. Just because photo bashing was something that I was just dabbling with. So with these, I'll do a little bit better. And yeah, man, let's see. What is it? August 9th. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you are watching an old episode. And if you want to catch these things live, you can catch me on Twitch. This is where I record these. They usually go right up onto Patreon afterwards, so you can watch them there as well. Fair warning, you will have to be a patron in order to watch most of them, starting at $1. And starting at $3 a month, you can get annual commissions from me. Character portraits. I mean, I work on environments and props and kind of work in all traditional and digital media, so, there's plenty of options there if you're interested. If not, that is fair, man. And yeah, other than that, man, I'm G Mr. Drew on all other social medias. Follow, like, and subscribe. Any and all support is appreciated. Now, other than that, let's get into it. I got YouTube in the background. Stranger Things put a season 4 teaser out, and I'm gonna listen to some new rock stars talk about them. And then what do I have? Berserk returning, and Berserk and Dark Souls themes and plot similarities, and then just some Dark Souls stuff, and then some also some what is that? Song of Ice and Fire stuff. So yeah, let's adjust the camera, get this going. And yeah, man, so glad I got this one done and out of the way. I can go ahead and forget about it and move on with my life, right? So yeah, man, let's just get started.
2022 with 10 whole seconds of new trailer footage from the upcoming season and plenty of clock imagery to decode. I'm gonna break this down frame by frame for all the clues, including what could be the new D&D based monster that connects everything, and it's not the monster you think. Okay, we actually open with the shot we saw back in the 11 Are You Listening teaser from May. 11, are you listening? Which did make it seem like Eleven could be back in the Hawkins lab, or maybe a flashback to her times with Dr. Brenner before the events of season 1. But then this montage of big moments from the first 3 seasons until we arrive at the new footage. Let's start with this new shot of a grandfather clock striking 12 in what appears to be a rundown attic. Now, this could be the same house as the one that Steve, Dustin, Robin, Max, Nancy, and Lucas explore in the other shot, and that is believed to be the Claremont house of Rome, Georgia, which the show's production made to look all boarded up and abandoned to be the Creel house of Hawkins. Now, Robert Englund, the horror legend who played Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, has been confirmed in the cast of the season as a guy named Victor Creel, a disturbed man who was imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for a gruesome death in the 1950s. But I think he'll be more of a Boo Radley figure associated with this small-town urban legend of killing a family member in this house. But in reality, the death was a result of a supernatural force, and he received the blame. Maybe you could even look at him as what Will Byers would have become had he stayed in Hawkins and grown up as a character that people were kind of afraid of. Which brings us back to this clock. Now remember, a clock was in the tree and upside down in the very first season 4 announcement in September 2019 with the chimes of a grandfather clock precisely at 12. And then a year later, in October 2020, an official set photo showed the clock.
What's up, Cheska?
Meanwhile, in the upside down, and then in the 11 Can You Hear Me?
Thank you.
We got another close up of the clock on the wall. Now, when it...
Man, I should really turn this stuff down. There we go. Yeah, that was the one I was cranking away at last night. Yeah, I think I spent like over 6 hours on it, all in all. But yeah, I really wanted to redo this one because of the markers being dried out, so I couldn't really get the color out of them, and it kind of killed everything with like making it all too light. Decent picture, but it was all very too light, and I was like, you know what? Let me redo this, and it's just gonna have to go dark and go darker.
And through this gateway back in the 50s arrived the threat,
But yeah,
practically anyone
definitely
who actually butchered the victim of Victor
worked
Creel.
out a lot better.
Now, all we know is that the season will release sometime in 2022, but I also wonder if that stroke
So
of
yeah, thank
12
you.
could also be a clue that this series might go live at midnight on New Year's 2022. Because think about it, every season is centered around a holiday. Season 1 on Thanksgiving/Christmas, Season 2 Halloween, Season 3 4th of July, and I think New Year's would be a pretty good target for Season 4, and maybe why they're playing coy just saying 2022. Another new shot shows Eleven being restrained by government agents, pulled toward the back of a van. She has a new haircut with bangs, actually similar to Joyce Byers' hair. Remember, season 3 ended with Eleven leaving Hawkins with the Byers, headed apparently to California. And it's thought that this season might open with Mike visiting them, which could be why we don't see Finn Wolfhard with the others in these other shots. Now, there is a third agent behind them, and the one on the right is actor Sherman Augustus playing Lieutenant Colonel Sullivan,
Yeah,
who's described as a
it
no-nonsense
was a bop
commander
working on
who
that one. How
simply
you
knows
been?
how to stop the evil in Hawkins. Just when Eleven thought she was out, they pull her back in. Now, Matthew Modine is confirmed to return as Dr. Brenner from season 1, so maybe these are Brenner's men forcing Eleven to return to Hawkins to be part of their old experimental program, because she is the ultimate weapon that they need to face the supernatural threat. But notice how she looks betrayed here. Could it be that Will sold her out, maybe feeling resentful for his ongoing psychological scarring and his residual link to the Mind Flayer? That you can take the freaks out of Hawkins, but you can't take the Hawkins out of the freaks. And Will might think that the only way to leave this curse behind is to force Eleven to go back there. By the way, here at New Rockstars, obviously we're big nerds who are always crunching the numbers, thinking about things like the YouTube algorithm, how people search for our content, just because we're really proud of what we make. We want to reach as wide an audience as possible. And one way that we've been helping teach ourselves more about things like that are with services like Brilliant. Thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Brilliant is an educational service that really
Oh
replaces
man, you just
traditional
slid that
schooling
ad
with
right in
hands-on
there.
interactive lessons. All kinds of other STEM topics. To support this channel and learn more about Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/newrockstars and sign up for free. The first 200 people that go to that link will get 20% off
Oh
their annual
sweet.
premium subscription. Then again, we see the group in the Creel house. Nancy,
Yeah,
Steve,
today's one of my
Luke,
days
who just does something
off from work, so
sarcastic in cap, and
I
Luke,
try
who's
to
a
get in
hot
as many streams as I
Scooby-Doo
can. Hopefully I can get in like
character. His hair is
two,
straight
maybe
up
three of them
just like
tonight.
Chrome Russo's love spot.
Like I
He's
have
got a
these
flamethrower
two
on his
squares
sleeve,
left
and
on
when
this
you see
page,
the
so
Eleven
hopefully I'll
figure,
just
you
fill
know
in
it's
this
him.
one
He's got a
on this
flamethrower.
stream, and then yeah, next stream I'll just get another one in, and
Look at that door.
that's
That's
kind of the
Eleven's
goal for
secret
tonight.
hallway in the season 3 finale when
We'll
Strike
see if
sees Dean brushing
anything
off
else
a potentially
comes of it.
undead in one of the cells. So Hopper now might be going cell by cell to seek out the Demogorgon in his facility and put it down, or maybe put down anyone that the Demogorgon might have infected. Then there's a shot of Hawkins High School cheerleaders at a pep rally, and front and center is Grace Van Dien playing Chrissy, a new character, described as most popular girl in school, but one who has a secret. Reports also say that she's dating a guy who is described as Steve Harrington without the heart. I don't know, maybe her deep dark secret could be that she has a thing for Robin. Then there's this overturned car on fire as Will, it looks like, approaches it. Maybe Will caused this wreck, a manifestation of his ongoing link with the Mind Flayer, whereas Eleven was the carry of the earlier seasons, and now Will has these powers he doesn't feel comfortable with. I don't know, I'm just getting some Wilter Soldier vibes here. Then a shot of Steve under a
Wilter
car with a
soldiers.
flashlight. Looks
Wow.
like he's investigating a sunken car. This could be in connection with their investigation of the Creel murder. Like if Victor Creel was a Norman Bates figure, maybe there's something where he tried to sink a car in a fog. I also fully expect there to be a Jaws jump scare here, like with the dead face popping out the window at Steve, like the one that did to Richard Dreyfuss in that scene. Then this D&D game with 3 dice rolling. They roll past this green token. This looks like a Vecna figure. Now Vecna is a character in the game who is a powerful wizard who became a lich, which is an undead spellcaster. Now, the recurring thing on this show is that the kids will use things from D&D to explain the supernatural phenomena. We have the Demogorgon, we have the Mind Flayer, and now Vecna could be the same thing. In fact, it could be what Will Byers fears he has turned into, a wizard turned into a kind of undead lich. Then this interesting shot of Eleven, head shaven once more,
Three.
peeking through a window in that same facility. From that, Eleven, are you listening spot? Again, this could be part of a flashback to Eleven's time with Dr. Brenner, or she's back in this lab working with a new forced her to lead a
And
team of
then
those
one,
savage
two,
warriors
three,
battling
four.
threats from beyond. And we end with some more ET/Goonies bike action. See Max, Dustin, Lucas, and Lucas's sister Erica, who I really think needs to call out Lucas for riding a bike. And this guy looks old enough to be driving his kids to college. These kids grow up so fast. By the way, you can support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EABoss. Follow and subscribe to New Rockstars. Thanks for watching, Mike.
Yeah, I hear there's never enough time, right? I think about it all the time. Like, I spend a lot of time streaming, and it's like, man, I'd really like to get a lot more stuff done, or just a lot more work done, but, sleep and then my job on top of it, like, it all just kind of gets in the way. And it's like, man, you know, one day, one day it won't be so bad, and time won't be so tight.
Right into it. Berserk Chapter 364 is confirmed and will be published in Young Animal Magazine on September 10th of this year, 2021. Whenever you're watching this video, in case you're watching it in the future, this already came out. But 2021, September 10th, Berserk Chapter 364. This is a big deal for a lot of reasons. Number one, and first and foremost, is that most people had no idea if we would ever get another Berserk chapter at all, whether the chapter was complete or not. Also, well, let me just get this out of the way. So this chapter, I do believe, I'm pretty sure, I tried to fact check it real quick and I couldn't find the original quotes, but I'm like 90% sure that this chapter was originally supposed to drop in May or June of this year, and it was obviously postponed because of the tragic news that we heard of Kentaro Miura passing away. And so this chapter was kind of like thrown onto the back burner. We didn't know if we would ever get it or not. So the one thing I do want to get out of the way is that this chapter is still a Kentaro Miura Berserk chapter. This is not the assistants drawing it. This is not the assistants writing it. This is not any sort of outside voices coming in. Whether or not the assistants like helped work on it or not. I mean, I'm sure they did somewhat, but like what I'm saying is that this chapter was already
That's what
set
I'm
to
missing.
be released. I'm pretty damn sure. Again, I can't 100% fact check that, but I'm like, I don't know, I couldn't find it. But anyways, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to come out earlier. So that's one thing you can definitely make a safe bet on, is that this is still Kentaro Miura. So if there's any sort of hesitation about wanting to check it out for whatever reason, don't worry, because this was still intended to be released. This was intended to come out. So this is pretty much just a postponement, rather
Yeah, I
than
wonder how much work
outside forces
the
coming in
creator of
and
Berserk,
adding into Kentaro Miura's
how much he still got done
fan base.
before, sadly passing
So
away.
this is very, very exciting. Also, the date of September 10th is no coincidence whatsoever. As I was saying, I made a video a couple months ago, I believe, where I was saying what would the future of Berserk be, who actually owns the rights, trying to figure everything out, because honestly, a lot of things are kind of fast in secrecy. I mean, Kentaro Miura himself, he was a very private person. There's not a lot of intimate detail about his life or his life situation or his family or anything like that out there. And I really appreciate that, because I'm pretty much a hermit myself. I really don't like interacting with people if I can avoid it. So I completely respect Kentaro Miura for that reason. Also, the man dedicated literally decades of his life creating a masterpiece of manga that, even if it does never get finished in any sort of traditional capacity, that it still stands as itself as either the greatest or within the conversation of greatest manga of all time. To me, it's the greatest. To me, it's my favorite fictional story across all mediums. But, I'm a big fanboy, so what can I say? So yeah, like I said, the date of September 10th
There we
is
go.
absolutely no coincidence, because that is the date that the exhibit honoring Kentaro Miura starts. I know my Google Translate here says October, but this is definitely September. I don't know, that got screwed up, so don't believe what you see on the screen in particular. But yeah, so it begins Friday the 10th, and you can double check that. 10th is a Friday of September to the 23rd in Sunshine City Exhibition Hall A in Ikebukuro. I don't know. Don't ask me to pronounce anything that's not English. I can't even pronounce English words, so I'm screwed on everything else. But this is what I was saying before, and I believe that my prediction is coming true, where I said that they would hold off on any particular information because
Yeah,
of this
it's
loss
sad.
of for Kentaro Miura. Brief overview of what this is. This is just a commemoration of the man's career, of his legacy, of
You know,
Berserk in
it
particular, and of all things Kentaro Miura. This was actually, and this was not
Man, you know, when people when they pass away with unfinished work like that,
last year in 2020, COVID pushed it back
that's something that's going to be around forever now. It's going to be like, oh,
September. So this
whatever happens with the story, if they never if they never finish it, people are going to be talking about, oh, I wish they would just continue it just to finish it. And then if they did continue it to finish it, people are always going to talk about like, oh, like I wonder, depending on how they feel about how it ends, they're going to be like, oh, I wonder if that's what the original vision was going to be. Like,
and a little bit of time for people to
man,
chill,
it's going to be
allowing
tough.
the family, allowing the people close to him to mourn and get through this process because it's not about us. It's not about when's the next chapter coming out. It's about what is Kentaro want. I mean, the man literally dedicated his life to creating this art for us. The least we can do is honor his
When I set out to work on this that I'm working on here, this project that I'm working on, the manga and all this concept work and everything that's gonna eventually build up to animation,
if nothing
um,
for the rest of this year.
I purposely set up a project that is gonna take up the rest of my life. Hence why I'm doing so much work on it, and all this is just concept art. Um, And another thing that I was conscious of doing while I was working on this was to make sure that the story that I'm working on, my main character is it's unfinished. I have, 40 years, 400 characters I talk about all the time. Like there's a lot to it, but um
Or it'll say, Kentaro, he worked on two more chapters after this. We're just going to
oh,
finish
he
those
worked on two chapters.
two. Or they'll say, Kentaro Miura wanted Berserk to continue on. If this
Um
happened, maybe he wrote a will.
So I have a beginning, middle, and end story for my main character, which is the story that's like me to work on for the rest of my life per se, something to keep me busy forever, basically, and always something to move forward and work on. But in the overall universe, like I'm introducing so much, and I'm not gonna sit there and harp on every last detail while I'm telling the main character story. So I was very conscious to make sure that I can that I don't have to finish everything. I just have to finish the main character's story, and then the rest of the world, would be available for people to, fans or whatever, to debate and create and tell their own stories and things like that.
The magazine could come out and work on it as a poster on the wall or something like that of all the biggest scenes. So it'll probably be something from the
Just because we've had enough going on, in life at this point where I don't know. I'm very aware of unfinished projects from a lot of people, a lot of creators and their unfinished works.
And it also says that there will be a booklet titled Messages to Miura. And this is actually something I'm more excited of than the chapter itself because I'm
So I mean,
curious to see
as an artist, as someone who wants to create something as grandiose is that is
this is going to be like a tearjerker, man. So when this comes out, if we get this portion, whatever translations you use or what websites you use,
yeah.
or
I just wanted to be conscious of that.
I,
And then I even think about like
I guarantee
as big as this project is like, oh man,
this is going to make you
this is only gonna work out
holding the sword, like tearing up. It's going to be bad, dude. It's going to be bad.
if I live like a long life,
Hold it together through that, and I believe my opinion, my theory,
which is the goal, obviously.
at the end of this Messages to Miura, they will include what decision they have come to as far as
So it's just funny. You can plan and plot everything, but at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed.
particular personal theory of how they're going to approach this. It makes sense. Makes sense that they held off to September. It coincides with the exhibit. It's really the perfect time. And also, if this chapter was already done, it's good to see it actually get out there to the people because I do honor Miura and I don't want something to be taken away from him. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be released against his wishes, but I would believe that Miura obviously wants people to
Vizzy Pop streak.
all that stuff. But at the
In
end of the day,
Discworld.
it is still art, and one of the greatest
I don't
feelings
know what
in
either
art
of those things are.
is just being able to
Are
actually
those like shows or mangas or
not finish the series, but finish the chapter and put it out, for us to enjoy.
what is
And
that?
so, yeah, so I'm super, super excited for it. Also, this announcement came out a month in advance, and usually Berserk chapters are always announced 2 weeks in advance. So that again leads me to believe that this is going to be something big and something special, not for the contents of the chapter itself, but what this is going to mean for the future of Berserk. What it's going to mean when we read the messages to Miura, and what it's going to mean when this exhibit happens and if they announce anything. And I don't know beyond that. I don't have any sort of insider knowledge. I'm just trying to work
Oh,
with
isn't
you
Vizzy Pop the thing that you were telling me
to,
about?
like, besides watching
Yeah,
the
that's
chapter
right.
and focusing on what the exhibit is going to entail, I just really want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
there. But yeah, man, as far as
That's right. It just hit me, and I looked up and I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what she's talking about. I remember now.
ended on probably one of
Yeah, I
the
remember
greatest
checking that
animes
stuff out.
of all
It was
time.
really
And
cool.
as far as like in between hiatuses go, and that is the Moonlight Boy showing up on the island of Casca is healed now, and the audience at least has a pretty damn good awareness that the boy and
Yeah,
Gertrude
so all the work I
share
do
the
now,
same
I would hope would lead to
but
having enough.
yeah, I mean, and if you guys think this
My
chapter
Patreon
is
talks about like what it would take for me to be able to like just quit my job and work on this full time. Uh, so I imagine if I just do this long enough and enough people like come across it and believe in me enough, like I could finally get to that point, which is the goal right now. Whether I ever actually make it to that or not, I guess really doesn't matter. I'm working on this forever anyways. But it can go a lot faster.
That's it. That's the last Berserk chapter ever. I would rather it end with this cliffhanger than something crazy like that. But again, more Berserk, of course, is going to make me happy. I'm super stoked for that day. Also, if you're like a old school heavy metal fan, I'm pretty sure that that is the day that the new Iron Maiden album also releases. So you'll be able to listen to new Iron Maiden songs while you read
Oh
Berserk.
wow, new Iron Maiden album
I thought
too?
that listening to
Holy
power metal
shit.
while reading old manga is actually like a very fitting thing. I'm reading Kiss of the North Star. I'm almost done with it. I got like 20 chapters left. And I'm listening to like old school like power metal while reading it, and it's perfect. It just matches absolutely perfectly. Anyways, um, so that's it, guys. That is the announcement. Let me know what you guys think below. Are you guys okay with this? Because I know some people didn't want any more Berserk. Some people were already decided 100%. I don't want any more Berserk to be released after Kintaro's passing. And some people are like, I need it to reach its end point and finish. To me, I want to honor whatever Kintaro wanted. Of course, personally, selfishly, of course, I want to see an ending to the story. I followed Guts this entire time. I'm heavily invested in it. It's my favorite story of all time. Of course, I want an ending. But what means more to me than that is just whatever Kintaro wanted with it. So, yeah, and yeah, and this cliffhanger, dude, it's gonna be worse, man. It's gonna be worse. Sony's gonna show up and I don't know what's gonna happen. Casca, the child, it's gonna be nuts, man. Yeah, so anyways, I won't take up any more of your time. This is pretty much just an announcement video. So let me know what you guys think. Please comment down below. Are you excited for Chapter 364? Do you believe that this will come with an announcement as to Berserk's future? What do you think the messages from Miura will be? And of course, as always, what do you think is going to happen in the chapter? Because that's always fun to talk about and theorize as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and comment because it really does help me in the algorithm. It actually really, really does help out. Trying to
Believe
find
in
out
the us that believes in you.
and
Yeah.
buying them. But
Yeah,
anyways,
exactly, man.
yeah.
When I started doing these streams on Twitch,
Appreciate it.
I mean, I know
If you don't,
that I set out to like put myself out here like that, and you know, it was either people were gonna, end up finding me and following me or not. But if they did, that they would be people. So I didn't know what to expect as far as that goes. Like who are gonna be these people that that find my channel and all that stuff. It's very I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just very new to me as somebody who's like, probably a bit socially awkward,
Broad strokes, then provide some ideas and give some
is
suggestions.
open as,
This is a more artistic video that
I
doesn't
can
get very
be
long,
on here.
as in
It's
it's only
still,
our 2 cents.
very difficult. And
We hope you enjoy it.
I'm
Let's
often thinking about how socially awkward I could possibly be in situations,
let us go into some detail.
and just every day is like always doing my best to
It has been
not
established
be a
that there is
weirdo.
design similarity. They both wield a greatsword and have been put into some of the poses for certain important design images. However, there are some similarities that go deeper. Guts is associated with the wolf. From a very young age, he fights with wolves and he has to roam like a lone wolf. This is a recurring image.
So yeah, it's a interesting way to put it. Believe in us that believes in you.
And this is also the image of his inner demon.
It's like putting faith into the future,
Wolf ring and is accompanied by a stick. In addition,
in a really real way,
and
and
Artorias
not
is
a
almost flat, with similar moves and as hands.
not in a way of like a gift card or not a gift card. What are those? Like a card, a greeting card.
One of a handful of captains under Griffin. Artorias is one of the four knights of Glow. Guts, after the eclipse, inhabits the interstice, a realm that is not either in the ordinary world or the spiritual, like a fish jumping out of the water. Artorias in turn traversed the abyss. Both are unmatched with a greatsword.
Oh shit! I left
In
my
Berserk,
AC
there
running
is a
on cold,
recurring
didn't I?
theme that Guts, with his
Give me a
incredible
second.
strength and will, can not only endure debilitating pain and overcome great challenges, but perhaps even alter the flow of fate.
It's so cold.
Artorias, in his turn, is described as having
Yeah, I was just
the
on
steam
on the computer, and anytime I'm on the computer, I always turn my AC, like I turn it up just to keep the room temperature
Guts'
cold
sword
while
is active
the
for a
computer's running.
due to his experience in the eclipse and the number of deaths it has brought. Artorias' cursed greatsword can damage ghosts after a covenant
And I was
Artorias
like, why am I
is
freezing right
lost.
now? Like
Speaking
my
of
feet are
his
like
sword,
icicles.
Guts famously takes up the broken sword and survives the eclipse. He is the struggler. To create Artorias' greatsword, one must use a broken straight-sword plus 10 as well. So, we have many similar trends to both characters, and some of these aspects of Guts may become relevant soon. Let us move on to demons, as they are very present in both Dark Souls and Berserk. If you want a more detailed look at all of demons, do watch our full video all about demons here. There is a theme in both Berserk and Dark Souls that it's ambiguous whether demons are good or bad, what is a monster and what is not. This is a very powerful theme that recurs in both worlds. In Berserk, the five supreme demons are called the Godhand, implying that they are sent by God. Can they be truly evil if they are doing God's work? They are certainly given some sort of supernatural power, and Griffith may have seen God during his transformation. At the very least, the occurrences are in the flow of fate, within the theme of determinism.
Ripping off
If
an
it does
anime.
not happen, if the
Hey
past
man, all that shit
and recent
is real
observed,
though.
can it be
All that
possible for
hokiness.
demons playing their functional role?
That's why people always feel cringy about those things, all those little positive messages, because that's what we all want to believe in, man. All
Who's
that
to say that the
power of
universe is
friendship and all that other shit.
conspicuous? The imagery of the Band of the Hall being around the fire is repeated, with Gut saying he warmed himself there. Yet they cook meat on that fire. The prey of demons happens to be humans. Just because humans are on the receiving end does not give enough reason to call it evil. What about Dark Souls? Here, the demons are far more peaceful than in Berserk. The demons seem to inhabit their own world without having to slaughter humans. They are self-sufficient. The bad name they receive seems even more unfair in this light. The Guardian Soul describes the boss as akin to the beings known as demons. The beings known as demons implies that it is a given name, not a true name. It is a derogative name, and relatively speaking, humans could be the demons to another viewer's plunder a corpse beneath sea sauce, kill the fair lady's sister, and trick the blind girl. We slaughter a lord who is perhaps lying heartbroken at the centre of the earth. Perhaps we are the monster. This theme comes up most explicitly in Berserk after Guts' first encounter with a demon. In Berserk, after Griffith and Guts face off, they discuss it while nursing their wounds. Griffith says, "I would say it could be something like a god," to which Guts says, "more like a demon." Griffith replies, "Who knows? Is there a difference?" This again pushes the theme that these things are relative. Guinevere and the Taurus demon both seem hugely powerful, but why is the being with an alluring chest a god, and the one with horns a monster? Is being a deity relative to one's attractiveness? Of course not. This theme is also connected to the theme of choice and temptation to a darker side within oneself. Demons in both works chose to become demons. In Berserk, the one who becomes a demon must ultimately choose the fate and sacrifice the one they love most. In Dark Souls, we also believe, and with a great deal of evidence, that the demons chose to become demons. In addition, demon weapons use humanity to scale their power, reflecting the human sacrifice in Berserk that is used to increase demonic power. I encourage watching our demons videos for more, and certainly reading Berserk for its interesting demonic themes. Additionally, you will find there a theory in our video that Jeremiah was a demon king of Aizalet, and Berserk once again supports this. Later on in the Berserk series, there is a demon king who rebels from the rest of the demons, and is made an enemy of them, just as we believe Jeremiah may have done. We hadn't reached this character in our reading of Berserk at that stage, but check out the two characters' armors. Let us now look at some character patterns between the two works, and perhaps
Yeah.
speculate on some further background history in Dark Souls, drawing from Berserk. In Berserk, Casca is, at first at least, in love with Griffith. Griffith is the leader of the mercenary group, and rescues Casca, a village girl, from the noble assaulting her. Casca slowly has to come to terms with the fact that it may be impossible for her to ever truly be with Griffith. Initially, he is focused on his dream, and later he pursues the Princess of Wyndham in order to become the next in line to the throne. Casca therefore attempts to contend with being something indispensable to Griffith. She says to Guts that she wants to be his sword, his blade. In a scene where Casca begins to see evidence that Guts cares for her on some level, Guts tells her to go back to her master, and the sword returns to its sheath. Over time, she falls in love with Guts, one of a handful of captains under Griffith's command. Griffith then falls out of favour with the king, and is stripped of his rank. Let us look now at Dark Souls. Kieran is one of the four Knights of Gwyn, the head of the Lord's Blades, but she is also specifically referenced as the Lord's Blade Kieran. The Hornet Ring also describes that she laid waste to Gwyn's enemies. If we were to draw a reference here, it would of course be to Casca, who wished to be her Lord's Blade. Casca was in love with Griffith, and being his blade was a compromise. Was Kieran in love with Gwyn? When we meet Kieran, she is mourning by Artorias' grave. It is not clear if she was in love with Artorias, or just cared for him deeply, but Casca also has strong feelings for Guts, which culminated in romantic love. Just as Griffith was out of reach due to his intentions with the princess, perhaps Gwyn in his station meant that it was impossible for Kieran, perhaps a commoner, as Casca was, to ever truly be with him. With time, perhaps she fell for Artorias, who was always the man for her. If we assume this is correct, for speculation's sake, the rabbit hole gets pretty deep. Kieran was determined to earn her Mars with a single arm and ivory locks as a unique badge of honour. It led to Dark Souls fans wondering whether she really was a Cyclops, and we confirmed in a previous video of ours that the face that is purported to
Cyclops. I'm drawing a Cyclops right now.
was a placeholder for a demo and is not really her face. The developers ensured you can't get an easy answer to the lore, and her helmet is non-removable. When this is combined with the ivory locks and Gwendolyn's questioned legitimacy as a child of Gwyn, it yields some interesting ideas. Gwendolyn has ivory hair. Kieran perhaps does, if the mask represents her hair color. unmasking of these deities, meaning both Guinevere and Gwynplaine. It has always been taken to mean Guinevere, of course, as it is a simple process to undo the illusion of her. But the plural must mean it refers to Gwendolyn too, and Gwendolyn does have a mask. All it covers is his eyes. Could an unmasking reveal a single eye? Could he be the child of Gwyn and Kieran, born out of wedlock? If Gwyn is the Griffith character, in Guinevere, a fully legitimate child does look strikingly similar to the princess Griffith has designs on, who would be the queen in the Dark Souls universe and Guinevere's mother. Both represent royalty and legitimacy, and so the similarity is interesting. I have not seen any images of Gwendolyn without a mask that look real. Perhaps this is another locked piece of data to keep the lore murky. And what if the snakes under Gwendolyn? This would be another interesting link. In Berserk, Griffith does not impregnate Casca, as she is already pregnant with Guts' child. Griffith's assault does affect the nature of the child, however, making it part demon. Gwendolyn himself is part monstrosity, with snakes on his
Holy
arm.
shit, I never thought about that.
Was the child in the womb interfered with? People have questioned Seath's influence. Perhaps Seath figured out that in the womb was a place when the change could be effected. This is all pure speculation, as a lot of Berserk will merely have integrated into the ideas for Dark Souls passively, without any conscious thought. The crossovers are intriguing, though. Alternatively, perhaps the disgraced firstborn son is the Griffith figure. This could make sense, as the firstborn son is stripped of his rank, and so was Griffith. Griffith was not a god of war, but he was the greatest general in the war midden wage, never losing a single battle. The firstborn son was the god of war. Griffith ruined his hopes due to foolishness with a woman, and we have some reason to believe that a woman may have been involved with the story of the god of war. That is for another time, however. We will give a hint, though. Just as Griffith was connected to demons and stripped of rank and hope, so too was the firstborn son connected with demons.
Where does this fall? Just right on the scene.
It has been mentioned that the Dark Raids and the Skull Knights look similar. The design similarity is certainly compelling, but there may be more linkups. First of all, there is a tower in the center of London, or rather now, more like a pit that goes deep into
I use markers.
It is called the Tower of
I
Rebirth.
use markers. I'm actually about to start right
It
now.
is said that no one has ever survived going much deeper, and that there used to be a different civilization that was destroyed with the coming of 4 or 5 angels.
Um,
Inside the tower, we see many bodies with
I use pencils as well, like I used to. I haven't used them in a while. And damn, when was the last time I used colored pencils? I don't even think I used them in this book, have I? No. So I haven't used any colored pencils in this book, so it's been a minute, but I used to. I used to use them a lot, and then I stopped because I would make these bigger pictures, and pencils only cover a little bit of ground. So I expanded from there, and I was like, all right, well, I'll have to learn how to use markers. And water, and then markers were even limiting, so I said, okay, I got to pick up paint. So I used watercolors, that way I could blend colors. And then even with paint, it's like, okay, paint is cool, like, you can use a bigger brush and cover more ground. And then save smaller brushes for details and stuff. And then that's when, acrylics and things like that came into play. And then even like spray cans, like they cover like massive ground, but they're not really that good for detail. At least I never developed a technique to do like really sharp murals with spray cans and things like that. And then even airbrushing, airbrushing, you can do a whole lot, cover a lot of ground and work on bigger pieces and things like that. But let me see, do I have, yeah, I got my markers right here. So let me grab the ones that I'm gonna use right now.
Demons, king, dark blades, and those with
Uh,
grace condition all go to great lengths to
what
achieve
color is
the
that gonna
object.
be?
It seems that in both Berserk and Dark Souls, the ends often do not justify the
You
means.
know what? Let's go with this. So I use these brush markers. So they're Faber-Castell, and really it was like, because I wanted to use Copic markers, and then I saw how expensive they were. So then I just tried to go find something similar, and but less expensive. And that's what, I ended up falling on these. They're still kind of expensive, but they don't cost as much as Copic markers do. Um, so yeah, after I do the pencil rendering, I just jump, and that's why I use these red and blue pencils, is because they're dry. They're not like graphite, so they're not gonna like bleed or blend or smudge or anything like that. So I can go directly over them with this wet medium and not worry about uh, smearing and things like that. Like if I started going over with a wet medium over these pencils here, the graphite will pick up and bleed out and stuff like that and fade out.
Does more harm than good in the Dark Souls universe as well. There are clerical soldiers with spiked weapons, locked up maidens,
So yeah, let's
faith in which you can buy your way into and
let's get
upgrade,
into this.
cheating clerics and undead hunts. Furthermore, we believe that just as the Holy See is manipulated, the Way of White is rotten at its core, and has likely had a hand in the creation of the undead curse. Check out our Way of White and the undead curse video for everything related to them and their murky connections, including similarities between Lady Fairknees and Rare, the Way of White. A recurring religious image in both works is the caduceus. It appears in the religion in Berserk and several times in Dark Souls. We all know the caduceus shields, but perhaps not much about what the symbol represents. The definition
There
of a
we
caduceus
go.
is an ancient Greek or Roman herald's wand, typically one with two serpents twined round it, carried by the messenger god Hermes or Mercury. In Berserk, it either symbolizes Guts and Griffith, two sides of a coin whose relationship leads to Griffith being reincarnated as the demon Femto, or Guts and Casca,
Yeah, brush markers are cool, man.
Griffith to be reincarnated fully as the White Hawk.
But I've only ever, like, once I bought my first pack of Faber Castells, I never really used anything else. So
Two serpents,
I've been using these for years. I just kind of got lucky off the first purchase that these, that I like how these markers work and things like that. And I'm still, trying to get
just as the
decent with them.
staff serves Hermes, or just as in Berserk, could the coming together of both cause a resurrection that allows the Lord of Dark to be reborn, or the next age to be brought in? Finally, a religious phrase brings us back again to another core
Alright.
theme of both works. The theme
So let's
of
do
inner
this.
darkness and temptation. The phrase is very or not. In Dark Souls, very or not could, with its ambiguous Latin, refer to the darkness or night within oneself or soul. This is further supported by the instructions for designing the game cover.
And then yeah, using these things, I always start small or start light, and then work, to go darker. At least that's like the main goal, so that way I can layer colors on top of layers, and that usually helps with the blending and bleeding. That's all stuff that I had to like learn over time, because I couldn't do it. Um,
Or gone to hell are described in one of the first Berserk books as so numerous they are like an ocean of
I wouldn't have been able to do it
This
with the first pack that I bought was like this starter pack that only came with like 12 colors.
at the cost of humans, seeds search for immortality at the expense of the poor subjects.
And it was like your basic like marker pack, red, blue, yellow, green, purple, brown, black.
Most of the pain and
Yeah,
suffering
your typical starter kit colors.
Only Ulysses was an exception, or used to be. The weakness of the will, fear, human
So then, like, I branched out from there, and
crops up in both
once I could, I started buying bigger packs with more colors.
within our own self as we re-preserve.
And also, that's also why I picked up watercolors, is just because I could use the same 12 pack of colors, but in watercolor format, you know, with watercolor material. And
Fortune teller told Griffin, so it holds true in Dark Souls.
and yeah, I'd be able to blend the colors a lot better with watercolors, obviously.
Which is also the tragedy of both worlds, is that ruling the world
So watercolors actually kind of give me a little bit more range and more opportunity.
We need death and watch over the dead.
Oh shit.
This task
More
belongs to me,
Dark Souls
but
videos.
the one who goes first to death.
Grave Lord Sullivan.
How long have Pontiff Sullivan and Aldrich the Saint of the Deep been up to their scheming and conquest? It's hard to say for sure, but
Oh yeah, and then watercolors were actually a lot cheaper too. Um,
these two are certainly a match
I was able to get, you know, pick up a pack from the dollar store.
now. Occupying
And I even to this day, I still use dollar store watercolors. I've gone and bought better watercolor materials,
in now. I think I have an idea.
but honestly, I don't really see much difference other than the fact that I get a lot more use out of those colors,
Guido once led
out of the more expensive brands,
disaster, the Grave Lords. Using
like
death,
the dollar store watercolors. You know, you can go through them really quickly because the pigment isn't as strong.
but the
So.
Phantom's Lord could end in defeat, allowing the eyes of death to multiply and leading to further proliferation of Bane. In Dark Souls 2, we learn of the Grave Wardens. While not exactly the same as the Grave Lords, they do have their similarities.
Oh, whoops.
Grave Wardens weaved death.
Are we focused? There we go.
A path that was granted to them by the one who gave the first death. Which is certainly an interesting.
Yeah, I haven't done any watercolors on the stream just because, you know, this sketchbook is basically all I really work with right now. And the paper isn't really meant for watercolors. Actually, I have streamed, I did do one commission with watercolors on stream a while back. Like maybe 100 episodes ago. But here, let me grab this.
That whether it's two separate individuals or not, their relation to death and crypts and skeletons and whatever
You know, I found these a while back.
preside over death and
And I think I talked about them on stream in the past. These old pieces that I did.
at one point attempted to steal the power of Grave Lord Nito as reference
And yeah, you can see,
and in Dark Souls
like, here's a little bit of watercolors and markers mixed. This one is actually, I really like doing it just because there's like very limited black ink in this whole piece, which was a new thing for me.
was a part of one of these groups and some
Yeah, this was like some Steven Universe thing for Watermelon Steven
know that
back in 2016.
world long ago.
Basically 5 years ago exactly, because it was August 7th, and today's August 9th. So yeah, man, almost exactly 5 years ago, I finished this one. Same thing here, and these are all just dollar store watercolors, and the 12 color marker pack that I had.
Just more flashy. And we know Aldrich was once a
You know, so with very limited colors
devouring human flesh.
and you know, non-expensive materials and things like that, I was throwing things like this together.
Saying
And another one of my favorites right here is Goku. But obviously a very stylized, like Monkey King Goku.
More likely, Sullivan taught him. In many ways, Sullivan and Aldrich were just as ambitious as the other. Sullivan wouldn't settle for forever
But
remaining
yeah,
watch over a crypt. But because
so these are like some really old watercolors that I did, and there's a bunch of cards I did back in the day.
Sullivan
I
learned
got a bunch of people's signatures. Marceline, the voice actress.
the importance of the
Non Non, Steven Universe guy.
what it is these eyes do.
Yeah, some old cards I found from years ago.
And then consider Sullivan's army of outrider knights, who were said to be given the
Yeah,
eyes
let's
of
keep
the pontiff. And these knights peered into
let's
the
keep
black
going.
caves, and they were lured into battles of death, and then transformed into frenzied beasts. Those two things sound identical, aside from the added benefit of pontiff.
So yeah, with these
the knights and
markers now, I have
which is
I don't
probably
even know how many colors it is. It's 1, 2, 4, 5,
studied the eyes of death
2,
and
4,
applied them to
6,
grow his
8,
own army. And perhaps that was
10,
all the secrets he learned from the
12.
as
So it's probably a 60 color pack,
Brave Lord's sword dance miracle
which obviously increases the
more than likely
the
again
range that I can work with
as the god of the dark.
a whole lot. It gives me
Pontiff Sullivan
the benefit of being able to use like
disaster in his
go from like light colors to dark colors.
nothing stood in he and Aldrich
Where if I was to do this with watercolors, I'd have to like dilute the purple,
evil
you know,
which
to get this light violet color.
ravaged and nearly destroyed a store. I believe this to be some of Sullivan's early work with Aldrich, and Aldrich to be the beast. A spirit or phantom of a beast was dispatched to a store, as described by the ring that references eyes. Eyes of which we know the pontiff learned to manipulate and make his own. The eyes luring spirits to worlds, and his new eyes that turned them into beasts. So, Aldrich peered into the pontiff's eyes, and that's not as romantic as it sounds. He transformed into a beast, and his spirit nearly destroyed all of a store. And perhaps this is the change in Aldrich that made him begin to consume
Yeah, Rebecca Sugar stuff.
so much of it that he would eventually bloat into
You know, I never saw the movie, the Steven Universe movie. I even own it, and I still haven't watched it yet.
situations in the first place.
And I haven't seen the ending of the cartoon series either. Because I think the cartoon ended, and then they made the movie, like as a finale or something, maybe?
Aldrich's destruction of Astora is
I don't
the
know.
very same reason that Henri of Astora is hunting him down with such ferocity. Henri is even the one who gives you the ring, which seems pretty symbolic to why they hunt who they hunt. The ring of the evil eye even grants you health upon killing an enemy, not unlike Aldrich devouring his fallen foes, as you're essentially consuming their essence for your own personal growth or needs. You just don't turn into sludge. Then, of course, we know most of Pontiff Sullivan and Aldrich's story from there on. The giant slug man being sacrificed to the first flame, but then coming back, only to abandon his post and get back to doing scheming things with his buddy the Pontiff. And Sullivan continuing his journey of power and conquest, discovering the profane flame and taking over Anne Orlando and imprisoning Gwendolyn for Aldrich to soon eat. But it is interesting to consider the ideas of where all these Dark Souls characters were before we see where they're finally at. That is, of course, what all the lore is there to explore for.
Here we go. Get this. Maisie Williams ready to start filming more Game of Thrones. Oh. What are they gonna do? Make some stuff up? gonna make some stuff up for her character.
A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones video. Alright, my friends, in this video, I will be discussing what Maisie Williams said during one of her recent interviews. For those of you who don't know, Maisie Williams was interviewed by the Table Manners podcast where she sat down to discuss love, life, Game of Thrones, as well as some of her upcoming films. They went over many different things, but in this video, I only want to focus on one little thing she said that made me very excited when I heard it. I'm sure some of you will enjoy this as well, because I remember right after Game of Thrones ended, there were a lot of fans asking for this. Now, although this may never actually happen, I will say it was nice to hear from Maisie Williams, even if we never see her in Westeros again. I don't know about all of you, but I really
What's up, Kickstand?
from the show. Now, I know a lot of them have went on to star in other films, but it also does seem like a lot of them have vanished from the mainstream.
What's going on, man? Just went to sleep.
Now, as you all know, there has been a lot of buzz surrounding all of these different Game of Thrones successor shows that are under development at HBO. Since Game of Thrones had become such a global sensation, HBO knew they would
Uh-oh.
more shows set in George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
long before the main series ended. As a matter of fact, they were already developing 5 different shows before Game of Thrones aired its final season.
You know, I'm sure the sleep will kick back in eventually.
All of us have been wondering what other kind of shows they would make. Given that George R. R. Martin has created such
Yeah, that's the one thing about sleep.
there are a lot of different directions they could
It's
go.
always around the corner.
They are filming their first season of House of the Dragon.
You never know when it's gonna come knocking.
In Civil War, known as the Dance of
Come to collect.
Now, I think if you would ask most fans what they really want, I would bet that most of them would say they wish HBO.
But yeah, man, just hang out for a while. I'm sure.
Before they start making other shows set hundreds of years before the
I'm not making much noise over here, so I'm sure over time, this will like
writing for several decades now. So it
will
only makes
put you to
sense that
sleep.
Song of Ice and Fire would be the best story to adapt for television. It was unfortunate that Game of Thrones ended when it did. Even George R. R. Martin himself had said they should have made 13 or 14 seasons since his novels were so dense.
Why is it ending? I don't know. Ask David and Dan when they come through. We could have gone to 11, 12, 13 seasons, but I guess they wanted to like.
Now, although Game of Thrones has ended, this did not stop fans from creating their own ideas for successor shows. One of these ideas actually did involve Arya Stark. It would be a series centered around Arya's adventures as she made her way west of Westeros. I think a lot of fans were really interested in seeing where a show like this could go. Arya Stark was still alive at the end, and there are so many different things that could happen as she visited a number of new and interesting cities all over the realm. Now, with that being said, there were also a lot of fans who said something like this will never happen for a number of
Re-sleep.
One of the main reasons, they believed that most of the actors would want to move on with their careers. As you all know, they had been filming Game of Thrones for over a decade. When you make the same thing for that long, you can definitely start to feel bored or uninspired, and some actors just get afraid that they'll only be known for this one character, which is certainly understandable. Game of Thrones has also made some of these actors massive stars, which has given them bigger and better opportunities to work on other things. George R. R. Martin has mentioned this in his interviews as well.
There was a period like 5 years ago when they were saying 7 seasons and I was saying 10 seasons, and they won. They're the ones actually working on it. So.
Is there a character that you would love to see it spin off with?
No, I'm committed to these prequels. I mean, I think this story ends when it ends, and I know all the actors, as great as they are, all the actors are anxious to get on and play other roles. They don't want to spend their entire lives playing one role, and that's fine. I mean, it's great. We had such an amazing cast.
Even if HBO wanted to make more seasons of Game of Thrones in the future, it would be very hard for them to get all these same actors back. Now, this leads me right into what Maisie Williams said during her recent interview. It sounds like she would love to come back to the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. Let me show you what she said. Then you can let me know if you think she was joking or not.
I think she was a pretty good job. I mean, they did kill you off. I told them. That's only
Oh, where's my? What color is that gonna be? All right. Start off Hey, where's
Now, I don't know about all of
There you are.
but to me it sounds like she would really consider stepping back into her role as
Go
Arya
old school
Stark.
blue with
Like she
this.
said in the interview, her character did not die, so HBO could certainly bring her back in some way. She said all she's waiting for is the phone call, so I hope HBO is listening because it's now their move. I, for one, would definitely watch a show centered around Arya Stark. They could even call it What's West of Westeros: The Adventures of Arya Stark. Be honest, you know damn well you would watch that show if they made it.
Essos is east, and Westeros is west. But what's west of Westeros?
I don't know.
Nobody does. So I have maps to,
The edge of the world, maybe.
I'd like to see that. What's west of Westeros?
I don't know.
No one knows. That's where all the maps stop.
Wow.
That's where I'll go.
Now, although this may never happen, it was very exciting just to hear Maisie Williams say she would do it. We could follow Arya Stark as she discovers new and interesting and mysterious lands throughout the realm. Maybe she could even run into Jack and Agar again. And who knows what else could happen after a few seasons. Maybe some of the other actors would want to come back if this show started becoming very successful. Arya could always make her way back to Westeros where she would reunite with some of them again. Obviously, this is wishful thinking, but hey, a man can dream, can he? Leave me some of your thoughts down below. What would you have Arya Stark do if you were the one writing the show?
Go.
Where would you have her go? Who would you have her run into along the way? Have some fun with it and make your ideas as crazy as you want them to be. You never know. HBO might be watching. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching my video. Have a great day.
Yeah, that could have something to do with it. I mean, I always go to sleep with some water. I always chug some water before I go to bed and then refill it and then just have it there. Because usually if I wake up in the middle of the night or any time, it's like, oh yeah, super dehydrated. Let me drink some more water. But that's coming from somebody who's had kidney stones in the past and things like that. So, I rehydrate just to avoid that whole mess.
So before I get started on this video, I just want to remind everyone to follow me on Twitter at the Ash Hollow. You'll see the link all over my videos and channel and whatnot. But it's just easier for me to keep you guys up to date and in the loop on everything there, and especially around giveaway time. That's where I'm posting most of that
There we
information.
go.
So I'd hate for you guys to miss out on giveaways and such. But we got some crazy stuff to cover in this video, so let's jump right in. Who are the firstborn, Ornstein, and Howell? Or, as I like to call them, the Three Amigos or the Three Musketeers? Well, today we're going to find out.
All right.
Video where I will be purely speculating
Well,
about
that's the first layer.
what happened, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself, Kickstand.
It is widely considered common knowledge now that the Nameless King is indeed Lord Flynn's firstborn child. But in case you didn't know that, let my sweetheart ass catch you up real quick. So in Dark Zone 1, the base of the statue of Gwyn in the Darkling tomb, we find the ring of the sun's firstborn, which says, Lord Gwyn's firstborn, who inherited the sunlight once wore his ancient ring. Lord Gwyn's firstborn was a god of war, but his foolishness led to a loss of the annals and a rescinding of his deific status. Today, even his name is not known. So we learned some very key points of information. One, the firstborn is a god of war. Two, he was the heir of sunlight. Three, a foolish decision resulted in the loss of his deific status. So I guess it's safe to say that the
There we
firstborn
go.
is no longer
Just organizing my markers. They're all over the place.
So now, let's read the soul of the Nameless King. It says, the Nameless King was once a dragon-slaying god of war. Before he think I know of another Arab legend, so it's pretty clear cut as to the nameless king's kinsmanship. Plus, his armor description straight up states he looks just like Lord Gwyn. But the more complicated angle of the nameless king is trying to uncover his identity. Much like the Age of Ancients, it is shrouded by fog. Little Dark Souls humor there. Anyways, there are quite a few theories out there, but we're not going to cover every single one. The most popular two speculations on his identity are between Farum and
That
Ornstein.
color's so
Once
light.
upon a time, I was Team Ornstein. Heck, I even believed that Farum was just another name Ornstein went by. So let me explain why I thought that, and then let me explain why I don't think that anymore. So in Dark Souls 2, Farum armor says, armor worn by the Ferosa Lionites, the mighty Lionites, worshippers of the war god Farum. Ornstein is widely known alongside the symbol of a lion. I'm assuming I don't have to bust out all those references for you. So you can see where I was going thinking Ornstein was Farum there, simply from the lion analogy. The
Cake.
lion
Cake
knight
has
being both war
layers.
god and or god of war is certainly very Ornstein-esque.
No,
But I do
like
not
an
actually
onion.
think Farum and Ornstein are the same person. It seems
Everybody
like it
likes
could be
cake.
likely that Farum is the name of the firstborn, but I haven't enough evidence to prove or deny that, but it's simply not too important right now. If Farum is the firstborn, which is the most solid theory, and the more likely one I endorse, I believe he would call the knights who worship him Lion Knights, not because he is Ornstein, but because of Ornstein. If we look at the Leo ring, it says, ring associated with Dragon Slayer Ornstein, one of the four knights of Lord Gwyn, the First Lord. Ornstein was made first knight of the sun's eldest born, and his crossbeard is said to have pierced scales made of stone. So we know Ornstein was one of the four knights of Gwyn, but he was also
There
the
we go.
youngest born
Now this is
of
just
the
a sharper
youngest
marker of the
king,
same
the First
color.
Knight.
And
So you
yeah, I'm
see
just
here
layering
a
it.
growing bond between the two.
But the
I'll prove
color's
that in
so
a
light,
little
it's
bit.
not really
So if Farum
giving
is
all
the
that
firstborn,
much.
he simply
I'll
would
probably
call
end
the
up going
knights
over
the
it
Lion Knights as some
with
sort
the
of
next
homage to
color up.
Ornstein. Or,
But
for all we know, he's the one
yeah,
who gave the lion symbol to Ornstein in the
yeah, we'll
first place.
see.
But this is just speculation on my part. Alright, so looking at the miracle sacred oath, which is probably the most important description I'll read to you in this video, it says, this is the tale of the sun's firstborn, his faithful first knight, and the brave dragon slayer who served them both. So we know the faithful first knight is Ornstein from the Leo ring, and I like that it specifically labeled him as faithful. And the brave dragon slayer who served them both. My guess to this dragon slayer's identity would be Havel. Let me explain why I think that. So the only one of those three musketeers it mentions as faithful is Ornstein, which means Havel could have a change of heart at any point in time. So this is what I think happened. Now I don't have proof of this obviously, but I will point out the clues that
There we
led me to
go.
this assumption. So in Archdragon Peak, where the firstborn is currently residing, we find a Havelite. Now I do not believe this to be Havel himself, but we do know he has a small and loyal following of his own. I don't want to completely rule it out being Havel with the whole time is convoluted theme of Dark Souls, but it's just not likely that it is him. This particular knight, though, I believe was once close to the
You
Lord
know
Gwyn,
what?
perhaps his right-hand man. I believe this because after killing him,
Is
we
this the
get a
next
dragon sword,
color?
which says,
3
left by Havel himself,
and
along with the
3.
birthright of
It
the
is.
shield. We get the shield from him as well, and according to this
So
description,
might as
these two
well.
tools were left from Havel himself. So I think the Havelite is still carrying out Havel's mission, which was to kill the firstborn. Whoa, what? Yeah, okay, let me explain that. So, in Dark Souls 1, we find Havel's secret stash hidden in Anor Londo. Among his hidden loot, we find inside a mimic chest, which I think
Should have
Ornstein
just
really didn't want him stepping
followed my
into
heart
since
from
he
the
was
beginning
a
and
cult
did
member.
this.
It doesn't seem like too big a deal, but let's read the
You know, sooner or
description
later
for
I'll
what it
learn to listen to
truly
myself when I
looks
tell
like.
myself things.
It says, the church long hid the forbidden black
I
and
was like,
gold,
nah,
but
don't
no
go so
hidden
dark.
blacksmith knows of them.
With the
What the?
background, try layering the lighter
Prophecy
color.
are effective
Maybe
ways of
it'll...
following and kin. Well, to me it sounds like Havel had the intention of striking down God. So let's get to why I think it's the firstborn. We know, or at least I speculate, Havel served both the firstborn and Ornstein. I can assume since we
Yeah, it changes the picture a lot, don't it?
These buddies traveling the world
And then I could always lighten it up
dragons
with
is certainly a better love story than Twilight.
kind of an opaque
Hal was the
white.
arch enemy of Steve the Scaleless, who was a dragon, of course, and Hal was a renowned dragon slayer himself, so I think it's safe to say he probably harbors some sort of hatred for their kind. At some point in the timeline, the Firstborn gave up everything and allied himself alongside of the ancient dragons, which probably came as a shock and stinging betrayal to Hal. So I believe Hal concocted his plans to kill the Firstborn as revenge of some sorts. Maybe he struggled with the idea of killing a friend. Maybe he struggled over how to do it. I think it ended in the same result of him either going hollow or going loony, which aren't mutually exclusive if you're undead at least. In Dark Souls 1, you find Hal locked in a tower with a key that opens it reads, "The basement of the watchtower forms a stone cell. There are rumors of a hero turned hollow who was locked away by a dear friend." For his own good, of course. I believe that dear friend to be the Firstborn, and the for his own good, of course, is one reason I may believe that he wasn't actually hollow yet. But maybe that he was trying to
Oh,
get away from us with the
whoops.
Firstborn's plan of siding with the dragons, if he were trying to do it in secret anyways. So now we have the cavalry making an frustrating Pete,
Oh
seemingly having
well.
just slain a dragon, out looking for the nameless king to avenge Hal.
Where
That's
are
not the end of the
those
story. Okay,
colors?
so
There
now
you
we
are.
need to get on to Ormstein. Then I'm gonna
Trying to
tell you
use
pretty
my
much
old
what there's
my old
what
markers
there's
as much as I
already
can so that way I can get rid of them.
already. So let me
You know,
remind you
wait
again
for them
what
to
exactly
completely
I
dry
believe
up.
what went down. There's no evidence that says this is exactly what happened, and you won't find much of that in Dark Souls anyways. I just don't want anyone coming back to me at the DLC or something proves me wrong and be like, "Well, you said this is what happened, blah blah blah." We're speculating here, guys. We're having fun, so let's go. So we know Ormstein left Anor Londo if we read the Dragon Slayer helm. It says, "Golden lion helm associated with Dragon Slayer Ormstein from the Age of Gods and imbued with the strength of lightning. In the Dragonless Age, this knight, who long guarded the ruined cathedral, left the land in search of the nameless king. So he set out looking for the Firstborn. It isn't clear on when in the timeline this happened, but I think it's safe to assume it happened before the events of Dark Souls 1, and it's likely the Ormstein we fight alongside of Smo is just a fraction of the soul that was given to him by Gwyn, or maybe just another illusion from Gwendolyn. My assumption is that he set out to
There
find
we
his old
go.
friend, since he was a faithful first knight. I'm not sure a prestigious knight would abandon his post for something that wasn't important to him. So what do I think happened with Ormstein? Well, I'll tell you. It may seem a bit wild at first, but hear out my explanation of how I was led into believing this. So I think Ormstein reunited with the Firstborn and good friend, and wanted to join him again in whatever it was he was fighting for. They had fought side by side for a long time, and their bond ran deep. Through one way or another, Ormstein learned of the path of the dragon, and he took that path.
There we go.
That being said, I believe Ormstein to be either the Storm Drake itself or one of the dragons we see in Archdragon Peak. But I more so believe him to be the Storm Drake. Okay, so here's why.
Oh shit.
We know that in
There
order for
goes
the
that color.
player to take the path of dragon in the game
There
and
you
gain the
are.
form of the dragon, we must remove all of our armor to use the dragon stones, which was the only explanation I could find as to why we find Ormstein's armor simply lying on the ground in Archdragon Peak. Not looted from a corpse, not plucked from a chest. It's just right there on the ground, kind of like someone just took it all off and left it there. Perhaps he removed it to take the form of a dragon. The twinkling dragon headstone says, "The illusion achieved was the first case of the
Ah, there's
imitated
the other
form of an
one.
ancient dragon, and it revealed the
I was looking
smallest
for
portion of
you.
existence. The road to the old dragons is long and arduous, and only one can complete the journey. Perhaps Ormstein was the first case of imitating the form of an ancient dragon. That is my thought, at least. We also find his weapons
Alright.
in the same manner that we find his armor, towards the beginning of Archdragon Peak. It doesn't seem random that we just find them shrugged away like that. While I know that the armor we find isn't Ornstein's exactly, we know that his actual armor is being manipulated by the Pilgrim Butterfly, because the soul of the Dragon Slayer armor reads, "The Dragon Slayer armor still remembers their skills and hunts. So I think finding Ornstein's armor the way we do in Archdragon Peak is one, so that the player can have this awesome looking armor, but also to give us a clue as to what could have happened to Ornstein. Some people believe Ornstein was killed by the Nameless King, which certainly isn't a theory without merit. It just would seem we would find the armor upon a corpse if that were the case. But either way, to each their own, these are just my theories. Finally, I want to read the description for the Storm Curve
Go.
scroll, which says, "The Nameless King, ally of the ancient dragons, fought beside the Storm Drake in countless battles. When the great beast fell, the king claimed his soul, as was the custom in the Age of Gods." A couple things
Here
here.
we go.
When we fight the Nameless King in his first phase, he was riding atop the Storm Drake. That seems to indicate their most effective fighting form, and probably the one they more than likely used
Do
the
I have the
most.
purple out here? I
The
do.
description says he has fought beside, not atop, the Storm Drake in countless battles. We know that the Firstborn and Ornstein used to march into battle together when they fought the ancient dragons. Could this be what it is referring to when it says they fought beside one another? That's what I think. Also, it says when the beast fell, the king claimed his soul, as was the custom in the Age of Gods, which we can see the king do to the Storm Drake after he takes a moment to mourn his passing. We've seen this before between other beings from the Dark Zones.
All
We've also
right.
seen it with Tophet from Dark Souls 1. And what is peculiar is that when a soul is absorbed in this fashion, the being doing the absorbing takes on qualities of the fallen. When Ornstein claims Smo's soul, we see him grow very large, just as Smo was. And when Smo absorbs Ornstein, he is granted the lightning that Ornstein is imbued with. And when we watch the Nameless King absorb the fallen Storm Drake, we see an explosion of even
Here
more
we
lightning,
go.
which makes me think he was granted the lightning that Ornstein and or the Storm Drake was imbued with. Now that may be a coincidence, but it's just something curious to ponder on. That is essentially my theory and the clues that pointed me to it. I don't guess we will know too much more about the story arc unless one of the DLCs mentions more. But in Dark Souls, it is encouraged to think outside the box and look more closely at things that seem less likely. So let me just reiterate that this was just my opinion and not a fact of the game. So before I wrap this video up, I want to present you guys with a few minor theories I've been thinking about that have to do with the first one. There isn't a whole lot of merit to them, just interesting little pieces of information I'm gathering. So I want to look at the serpent rings from both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. Not 2, because its description doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm pointing out. For the most part, the silver and the gold covetous serpent rings say the same things, aside from the description of what each particular ring does. So we're just going to read from the silver ring, because Lugian is better than Ho-Ho. Get it? Okay, so in Dark Souls 1, it says, the serpent is an imperfect dragon. And in 3, a silver ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was, a dragon. So, pretty clearly, all the serpent men found in the world of Dark Souls
Da,
are
da, da,
imperfect
da.
dragons, who could have been, but never were dragons. We find them in two places in particular, which are Sin's Fortress and Archdragon Peak. This leads me to believe that they are somehow connected to the Firstborn, whether they follow him or worship him or whatever. It is just curious that we only find them in these two places. Perhaps after the gods began to flee Anor, the Firstborn assigned some of these serpents to Sin's Fortress to help fortify it. What I also find curious is that there is a certain NPC who only pops up in these two locations as well. And that is Ricard, the undead prince. Perhaps Ricard could be the son of the Firstborn. It seems likely at this point that
There
he's
we
in
go.
some way connected to him, right? If we read his rapier, it says, a rapier with intricate decorations, chosen weapon of the infamous undead Prince Ricard. Ricard's exploits are told in Monument. He was born into royalty but wandered the lands in a fateful, ill-conceived journey. So he was born into royalty. I mean, obviously he's calling himself Prince of the lands. It also says he is infamous. To be infamous is to be famous for a bad reason, essentially. Its description reads, Miracle wielded by Lord Gwyn's firstborn. When the eldest was stripped of his deific status, he left this on his father's coffin, perhaps as a final farewell. So we know now the firstborn allied with the dragons and was expunged from the annals of history after his father sacrificed himself to lit the first flame. So that got me to thinking, who could be capable of stripping the heir of sunlight of his deific status? Who holds the title and power capable of doing such a thing? To me, that sounds like the perfect job for Belka, the goddess of sin. For that is exactly what the firstborn did, at least in the eyes of the people. Sin. He committed a great sin, allying himself with their enemy. Who else could bear the torch of stripping him of everything after committing such a sin? So that's still my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know not everyone makes it to the end of these things. I can get pretty wacky, but I do
All right.
interested in explaining why it is.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping by, Cheska.
Let me know what you
I'll be streaming all night, so I'll probably end this one and then, start another one. So lurk away.
That is where we'll be putting up a lot of information, in particular.
It was good talking.
This time for giveaways, so you don't want to miss that, because I know we can all make it to my goal. You guys have already been so awesome and supportive. You're capable of anything. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time on the Ashen Hollow.
Oh, that was my last video. Come on, kill Tony. Tell me you're done. There we go. Did I never watch last week's Kill Tony? Holy shit. I didn't. Last week they had Pauly Shore and Josh Martin on. Did I not watch that? Holy shit, am I about to watch 2 Kill Tonys in a row? This is what happens when you, Alright. Hey, it is what it is. And that's what it's gonna be tonight. It's gonna be one of them Kill Tony nights. Yeah, see, like this color's kicking it.
Hey, this is Frederick coming to you live from Vulcan Gas Company here in Austin, Texas. For a brand new episode of Kill Tony, give it up for Tony!
Yeah, see, let me grab these official colors. See how these new markers. Oh yeah, so much better. And this is even the lighter color than the one I was just putting on. That's how dry those markers are. So yeah, I could probably trash those now.
Make some noise for my good friend Brian Red. And everyone, we are here in Austin. Shit's crazy. Woo! I got distracted up there talking to our guests tonight. How you doing, Red Band?
Great.
There it goes. How about a hand for the band, everybody? What the fuck is up? Holy shit. What kind of comedy band is this? Chaos, I tell you. Absolute fucking chaos. How about a hand for it's the great Team Madness on bass guitar, everybody. You know him. You love him. Matt Mueling on guitar. And the great Charles.
Alright,
Charles Reed.
here we go.
One more time for Charles, everybody. His first night with us. Michael Gonzalez will be back next week. go to another strip club other than the Yellow Rose or the Red Rose, you're never allowed to kill Tony again.
True.
Banned for life. We track these things. Fuck yeah. It's the Screwball Band this week, everybody. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. The absolute best fucking peanut butter whiskey you could ever ask for in your goddamn lives. How about that?
It's great.
I actually
Have
love
you
it.
ever had it?
Yeah, I have, and I actually do love it. That's
It's
how
amazing. I mixed it with some Kahlua and some cream. It's amazing. Highly recommend it.
I love it. We love all of our sponsors. Speaking of which, here's a little bit more about the amazing sponsors that made tonight's episode available for
Oh
you.
yeah, sponsors.
Hey, y'all.
Favorite time to skip.
The hot summer months are here, and we need to be.
So let's go 2 minutes. And they're still
It's
talking.
non-GMO vegan.
Go another 2 minutes. All right.
Comedy store legends. I mean, what can I say? Legends of the game, the prince of the comedy store. Two of my favorite comedians in the world, Josh Martin and Pauly Shore, ladies and gentlemen. Dang, thank you. Yeah! It's Pauly motherfucking Shore! And Josh Martin, everyone! Pauly Shore is on a Texas tour, everybody.
You tried to get fist.
Pauly can't fist bump you guys. There you go.
Why didn't you give it a fist bump? What the fuck, dude? Why? Oh shit. Why didn't you tell me that shit?
I forgot to warn you about that. Pauly Shore is here, everybody! San Antonio tomorrow, here at Vulcan Gas Company this Wednesday.
Sorry about that, bro. I didn't know.
Houston, Thursday, Dallas, Friday, and Fort Worth, Saturday. His podcast, Random Rants, I've been on it. Everybody's been on it. It's a crazy old time. And be sure to check out the amazing movie Guest House, out now on Netflix. Pauly Shore is here, everybody. Also, Pauly Shore of Pauly Shore and the Crusties. He started a band.
Yeah, I have a band called Pauly Shore and the Crusties, and I was thinking maybe we could play, but I don't know if they want to do that shit tonight. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure
Maybe
something's
later on.
gonna pop up.
Let's give it up for Tony, Red Band, you guys here. Josh Martin, very funny comedian.
Josh Martin of the Wrestle Fetish podcast, a pro wrestling fan, of course. Back when I was in LA, we used to do a pro wrestling podcast together called the Store Horsemen, and then a global pandemic hit, changed everything. But we're all here together. Josh, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. Austin, you are weird.
Josh,
I
also,
thought I was weird, but holy shit. You
yeah,
guys are people. It's great seeing Josh again, Tony.
it really is. Josh is one of the people that really helped us out a lot when this podcast first started. And so how about a hand, you Kill Tony fans, for Josh Martin? I mean, truly, one of the first people ever to believe in the show, and a huge part of our history, and our present. We're here with Pauly and Josh. You guys know how the show works. A ton of people signed up for the opportunity to get on the show. If I pull their name out of the bucket, they get 60 seconds uninterrupted. They do know their time is up. When you hear the sound of a kitten, you hear that? That means that's their time. They have to wrap up then, or else we're going to bring out the angry West Hollywood bear. There it is. Seems a little low tonight. Maybe we could turn that up. Maybe we could get a. Let's turn up the volume a little bit there. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blah, 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 blah. That? Okay. There you go. That's great. Sound better, huh? You guys excited for a great show tonight? Well, then let's start it off with something special. Let's start with a regular on the show. This guy writes and performs a brand new minute every single week. Normally, he closes the show. So you guys are seeing the closing as the opening.
There we
Diagnosed
go.
with Lou Gehrig's disease a few years ago after decades of experience in Second City in Chicago.
And yeah, I wanted to
He
go
decided
blue
once
with
he
it.
was diagnosed
So
to
where
chase one of his
is
dream of being a stand-up comedian instead of an improv
where are my
superstar.
blues at? Oh, there you
And
go.
since then, he has grown to fame here on Kill Tony as one of the greatest comedians in the show's history. This is a new minute from the great and powerful Michael Lair, everybody. Here he is. Live in the flesh. Moved to Texas literally like a month after Red Band and I. He wanted to be near the live audiences. And here he is now. Guys, can you get that mic stick?
should all do it too. There's a clinic off on 35. It's open 24/7. It's called Dreamers or Pleasures. Either way, I put my penis in the wall and the machine sucks out the antibodies. And when I say a machine, I mean the guy's name is Machine. Now, look, Bill Cosby is out of jail. A lot of people are upset. Oh, the SJWs are like, why so much unconsensual sex? Mwah, mwah, mwah. But, on the other side, they say sleep is the best medicine. And it's time and medicine was sleep. Yo, but for real, I was discussing, even the coronavirus is like, I killed 4 million people and you like Cosby out of jail. I need to make a hospital there. What's next? Living Nassau gets out of jail. Have you been watching the Olympics? Weird like always. What the fuck is steeplechase? Alright? I don't know if it sounds racist. Alright, it's like guys coming over hurdles and puddles. It seems like some masters used to make their slaves refrain their people.
Michael Laird getting extra time from us, only from us. Michael, welcome back to the show. Another brand new. That was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We like to let you go with however long.
Yeah, but I should have pulled up. I'd like to like experiment, but that dragged a little bit. But I learned.
So wait, you went to a whorehouse? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
And what's the name of it again?
Pleasures or dreamers? What is it?
Pleasure? Dreamers. That fucking guy knows. Up in the cheap seats, way up in the back. Dreamers. Back there.
I read the Google review. I basically pay 100 again and 60 for the girl, 40 goes to the house, and then you tip up to 500, and basically it's a bait and switch where you basically pay 500 to jerk yourself off.
You're getting ripped off, my friend. There's a place in Round Rock. It's $120. You get full sex.
I know, man.
Red Man, you are disgusting. No one wants to picture you having $120 sex in Round Rock. Fucking monster.
Tony, if I may, for
It's crazy. You pay $120 and the girl has to have sex with a Round Rock. I just thought of that right now, just like that. It's a Red Man Round Rock joke.
bro,
I gotta say, Michael, I cannot believe that they hired you. This is the weirdest Colonel Sanders I've ever seen in my entire life.
Holy shit.
I love they keep doing these celebrity things, but I never thought it would cross over to you.
I don't know what Colonel Sanders is, but I'm definitely the gay one.
You guys remember Michael from LA, right?
Kinda remember him, but I don't fucking remember him. I do remember you.
He met my son too.
Yes, yes, I remember you. Nice to
That
meet
was
you.
awesome.
You moved here too, huh?
Like, yeah, I was a
like he stole Kobe Bryant's shoes.
Oh yeah, after the helicopter crash.
Good dog, good dog.
They feel like you caused the crash and then just stole his shoes and rolled the fuck off.
This could be Kobe. It could also be any Armenian guy's nighttime slippers.
Hey man, I love Armenians. I know Picton MMA funny for this doing drag racers.
Jesus Christ. What'd you do today, Michael? Did you go to any of the local bars on Rainy Street?
No,
No?
dude, I think so. Per usual. But no, we got a new bed and it's a fucking nightmare. Everyone rips you off. Like our bed costs $4,000.
What?
Yeah, well, I get the hospital. So instead of being like a two adjustable bed, like a TV bed from the 80s, you know. But the rails on this thing are like sharp edges, and me and Colette are arguing over how to wrap a spinning noodle around the edges. So I know roll and cut 'em in my forehand and my feet. Everyone's fucking ripping me off.
This is a pretty.
Is this a new advertisement for a bed?
Yeah, I think this would be the one buying $4,000 bed with sharp edges, and it's one of the most depressing things I've heard of in a long time. That must really suck to be getting ripped off, and the bed sucks.
Yeah, but nothing compares to the disease God cursed me with.
That's true. To think that the worst part of that bed is that it's your deathbed. It's really
Yeah.
sad, right? They could easily end up scraping your body on the sharp railings after you pass away. It'd be the first thing that happens.
It must be a casket.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that red band. Red band talking ghost mattress jokes over here. Michael, I absolutely love you. What a great way to start tonight's show with a brand new couple minutes from you. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week with a brand new more material.
Good job.
Michael Laird,
Yeah.
everybody, get things started tonight. Hello, one more time for Michael Laird. You guys can play a little something. All right. You guys ready to go into this bucket or what, huh? Bunch of people signed up for the chance Undertaker singing. Got an Undertaker doll in there. You know what's up. Good job. Yeah. All right. Tonight's show starts with a brand new minute from a man named Bilal Swain, everybody. Bilal Swain. Here we go. How many of you like it when comedians do good on this show? How many of you like it when comedians do bad on this show? All right, we'll see what happens here tonight. You guys love. Oh shit! One more time for Bilal Swain, everybody. Come on.
That one wasn't on purpose. You guys know about autoerotic asphyxiation? Do you think they ever tried to lynch somebody but accidentally ended up causing the greatest orgasm of all time? If somebody tried to lynch me, I'd just start jacking off because I'm not going to miss the big one. It's the last one. Come on. And, you guys like pears? Any pear people here? Pears. I hate pears, and they're like apples but bad. The only way I'd voluntarily eat a pear is if I threw it at somebody and it killed them. I need to get rid of the evidence. Oh shit. Alright, yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. Bilal Swain. Am I saying that right, Bilal?
Yeah, started out in Detroit.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, you know Genevieve?
Yeah, I know her.
Okay, awesome. How long you been here? You just visiting?
I've been here for like a week.
Okay. How much longer are you here for?
Maybe until the end of time. I don't know. I could get hit by a bus or something.
Okay. Hell yeah. I love this shit. Seems like you're very flexible. What do you, how's this been going for you? What do you normally, how do you make money?
How do I make money? I don't.
Okay.
But,
I love it. Is that what you were doing pre-pandemic as well? Did you have a job before the pandemic hit?
Kinda. Like, I'd always prioritize comedy,
Right.
That was
Yeah.
why I did everything.
You're hilarious.
Thanks, man.
Everything you do is funny. It's pretty crazy. You're like a funny Michael Che.
Wait, no, hold on.
It's like if Michael Che did comedy. Had comedic timing and beats and shit like that.
This show was really good.
No, I'm kidding. I'm a huge fan of Michael Che, but it's just a funny thing to say right then. So Bilal, what else are you into? You have any hobbies or special skills? You seem like the kind of guy that knows how to like fucking pick up some instruments or some crazy shit like that. You do other things too, right? You're an artist.
Yeah, I like to draw.
You draw.
Yeah,
Okay. What do you tend to draw?
big nothing. No, I like to draw like whatever pops into my head. I've been trying to get into animation.
I love it. I love it. Wow. Absolutely. You have a girlfriend?
No, I think every girl is just racist.
Seems like those ones would also be into you, though, right? Isn't that how it works? Like, don't white girls that hate black guys like fucking them?
Well, I use the same excuse for why women are into me. They're just racist.
Yeah.
It works.
It works both ways.
It never works for me.
Pauly Shore, you are the son of the greatest judge in the history of comedy. My God, Mitzi Shore, everybody. Famous owner and creator of the Comedy Store, the greatest
If she
comedy.
saw him, she would say, "Have him call me on Monday."
Right, yeah.
It's fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Very funny.
That's what she'd say about Bilal. I love it. You ever perform anywhere other than Detroit? You get around sometimes?
Yeah, I've been in New York for the past few months.
Oh yeah, awesome. How's that been going?
Been going good.
Yeah. What's fun about New York? What do you like?
You don't have to care about people because there's so many of them.
You're absolutely fantastic. You are absolutely fucking fantastic.
I like this guy's attitude.
You really
This guy has
is.
a great attitude. He's like, fuck you. None of you are important.
It's true. Very calm, cool, and collected. Especially, shall I mention, especially since you fell coming up the stairs. I never would have guessed out of anyone. Now that I've met you, you know, when you were first coming up and you fell up the stairs, I'm like, here we go. There's no way I possibly thought.
I want to give him money because he says he has none. So I thought it would be nice to give him $100, bro.
Hey, Pauly Shore with $100. Oh my goodness. Pauly motherfucking Shore. How cool is that?
Thank you so much.
I mean, the guy said he's fucking got no money. You know, give him fucking $100, dude.
Now you give him $100. I'm not gonna do that every time. You're giving him another? No, don't give him another 100. You're gonna. Wow! 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 Wow!
I mean,
I don't
this
think
guy's
Paul-
awesome.
Absolutely.
Should have a fucking nice meals and a fucking barbecue and shit. You know what I mean? Have a good time. Get some fucking prostitutes or some shit, dude.
see his biggest credit. IMDb page just says I paid for lunch for Paula Shore.
That would be good.
Good.
Bilal Swain. My only, Bilal, come here. Take one of these amazing Kill Tony joke books. Bilal, sign up again.
Man, this thing's finally starting to come together.
Come back. I want you to come back. You're hilarious. One more time for the great Bilal Swain, everybody. He's on social media at BILAALSWAIN. So that's sort of
This is another one of my old markers.
what? I'm thirsty. Oh yeah, me too. How about a hand for the amazing staff here at the Vulcan Gas Company, everyone? I'll have one of your delicious Crown Royal and Coca-Colas. Me also. We love Crown and Coke, an American Canadian super beverage. Your next comedian goes by the name of Darian Irwin. Step back from that ledge, my friend. Come on, one more time for Darian Irwin, everybody. Here we go. 60 seconds from Darian.
All right. How's everybody doing, huh? This is awesome. Fucking look at this. This is fun, guys. I know I look like I make sleep apnea noises during the day. I do, you know? Big, man. I've been big my whole life, you know? I've never played a game of tag and I've just been it the whole time. Like, it's a fucking nightmare, dude. Obesity, that's what my doctor calls it. It's weird because obesity is a disease, he says. He says it's a disease. It's weird because obesity is a disease that you are, right? You don't have obesity, you are obese. You don't have hepatitis C, you are a bad person. You see what I'm saying? That's pretty cool. I have this 9/11 joke, but it never lands well. You know what I'm saying?
Boom, Darian Irwin with a brand new minute, everybody. That was amazing. We're off to an incredible start here on Kill Tony. The people love it when comedians do bad. You never gave them a chance, Darian.
Oh,
How long have you been doing stand-up?
About 2.5 years.
Okay, sweet. All of that here in Texas?
No, I just moved here like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude.
Were you this big when you got to Texas, or is
Yeah.
this just a week worth
Just
of...
this week, dude. Terry Black, dude. It's fucking insane.
I love it.
I was 140 pounds when I moved here.
Absolutely. This is what happens. 1 week at Terry Black.
Have you got a job yet? They would love to hire you here, I'm sure.
Yeah. What you got at Vulcan?
Yeah. That
Oh.
makes it like a
Great.
great.
Yeah. You could be a door guy. You could be a door guy.
I've never heard that before. There you go.
You are a big motherfucker.
I
You
am.
always been a big boy?
Always.
Hell yeah. Your whole family is big?
No, this is my nightmare. My whole family's like in super shape, good shape. Yeah. So that's what I'm.
Pauly Short just made a really good point. He said he's married. He picked up on the evidence
I
there
know,
around
I'm
that
married.
around that hot dog Frank you call a ring finger there. Look at that thing. Ready to be boiled. Everything. Look at that.
Your wife flat chested or everything flat? No, she's skinny though. It's bananas. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean?
Maybe it literally is just bananas.
It's bananas, yeah.
Fruits and healthy foods, and then you have a slimmer body. I can't believe you're just finding this out now. The shit literally is bananas, Darian. Or really anything other than what appears to be bread. What is it? What are your go-tos? Like, what is your, like, when you're really feeding that fucking urge, that fucking itch? Are we talking about just, like, you ever just go, you have something crazy you do, like, straight mayonnaise or something like that? Or, like,
No, never straight mayo.
what's your go-to? What's the most disgusting thing that you eat? Well, hell, you probably don't even think it's disgusting.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't eat very much of it, and I just like it. But, I don't know. What's my fucking weakness? Just if you drive by somewhere and they're selling food, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
All right.
100%. There it is. Pauly.
Well, how many questions are you gonna ask
play cards for a living.
What kind of cards?
Mostly Hold'em.
Wow. Look at that. You make a
No, it's
living.
not cool. I'm a degenerate gambler. Don't apply.
And you
I've
actually,
lost so much money since I've been here in Texas.
but you make more than you lose, or how does
Yeah,
that work?
generally speaking.
Right.
That's how you make money.
Oh, no, I know. But then you said that you lost a bunch, so.
Not fucking cool, dude. It plays out, I guess.
Darian.
It says kill Tony, not kill Darian, bro. Let the king speak.
No, he's killing himself, Paul. It's okay. Slow. Slow. This is incredible. So how long have you been a gambler like that?
Dude, actually not very long. About a year and a half. It was like I started playing like right before the pandemic started, and then when the pandemic started, there was nothing to do, so I just started playing like a lot. I might just be on one upswing right now, and it's gonna all come crashing down. But right now, fucking
You just keep winning at Texas Hold'em.
yeah,
It's incredible.
so I moved to Texas.
Every house that you're in is a cool house.
Yeah.
You have a lot of trouble with your flushes, right?
No. Hey-o. This guy.
These are fat guy poker jokes. Stick with me here. Who's ready to go on a run? No. I love it. So, that's fun. I mean, what's your favorite hand in poker?
Oh, aces.
You look like you have two hearts.
Oh.
And also 4 stomachs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look like you ordered a 10 of club sandwiches.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a real fun show.
Trying to go as fast as I can, but so you can kill a couple seconds.
All right.
No. So what else? Do you have a girl? Or you were married? What does your wife do?
She's a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's she teaching?
She's teaching 5th grade math. Yeah. Yeah. She's super
Are you
cool.
smarter than a 5th grader?
Yes.
She's confirmed that?
Yeah.
I love
She's
it.
not. It's wild that they let her teach. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa! Darian, you son of a bitch. You're going to get in trouble for that one. What do you guys do for fun? How do you keep it funky in the bedroom, Darian? You seem like the kind
Oh,
of
we
guy
don't.
that's...
We don't. We just try and keep anybody from getting hurt. Is what we're trying to do.
Right. You're always on bottom then?
Yeah, Tony. I'm always on bottom.
Just,
Always.
do you guys switch it up ever? Do you ever do like doggy style or piggy style or whatever it is?
She squeals, not me. You know what I'm saying? Whoa!
Oh shit. Oh, come on. What else? What do you do for fun, Darian? What else other than poker?
I mean, this is
Stand
fun,
up
man.
and poker.
Yeah, man. The sand's the most fun thing you can do. You know that. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How much time do you have? That I'd be comfortable with like 20, maybe. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take a booking for more than that, Paul. Truthfully.
Take a what?
A booking for more than that, like truthfully. I mean, I could stand up here for an hour and fucking, ask people what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what, Darian? I'd love to have you on the secret show for a
Thanks,
second.
man.
What's
That's
everybody
awesome.
groaning about?
Thank you.
What was that weird groan before?
Yo, can I make a comment? I think the comedians are funnier in fucking Austin than LA.
This
dude.
show for sure, definitely right now. I'm telling you.
I mean, because, well, at least so far. I mean, I've seen 3 comics. They've all done good. Because when I used to be on your show back in the day, there was always maybe 1 or 2 good. There were other ones that were pretty good.
A lot of the best,
You're here.
a lot of the best comedians in the world moved to Los Angeles, and a lot of the most delusional comedians in the world moved to Los Angeles as well. But you've been lucky so far tonight. Incredible set from you, Darian Irwin. Everybody, there goes
Thank you.
Darian.
Thank you very much.
We're on to the next one here. Darian _Irwin_ comedy on Darian. You get a big book, buddy. There you go. That's the cookbook. The first ever Kill Something cookbook was the Darian Irwin.
Oh yeah, maybe I could do this. Yes, perfect. Been trying to figure out what the hell am I gonna do about this background.
Can I get a tequila shot?
Absolutely. What kind of tequila would you like?
I like some Casamigos or something. Or
Casamigos, absolutely. Josh, you want one? No. Your next comedian is Jimmy Stealth, everyone. Jimmy Stealth. This should be exciting. We remember Jimmy from a couple of old school Texas episodes. See what happens here.
So the captain had to sail back using Fanny Panty. Thank you.
I think I spoke too soon.
I just want to have sex. I just want to have sex with a woman whose ass is so big she scratches it like this. What if we really could shut our brains out? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Well. It appears as though the tides have turned, Polly Shore.
Sorry.
Little Casamigos for you.
That was like a fucking stock, dude.
Yeah, that was
It was just up and all of a sudden went. But he should, you know, I mean, he looks like a cool mechanic, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You do that side work?
Not at all.
What do you do on the side?
I'm retired. I drive Uber though.
You tried to Uber?
I drive Uber.
Did you hear in Vegas they have a new topless Uber company called Uber?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Do I need to give you $100 after that?
Yeah, give me $100.
So Jimmy, wow, that was horrible.
Thank you.
Just to let you know,
Thank you
just so
very
that we're clear here. Just absolutely as bad as it gets. I remember the big butt named Fanny. I remember anyone named Fanny. I mean, at one point I heard Pete Madness literally respond to one of your jokes.
I think he knows
He
we're
got,
going
it got so quiet in here. Pete Madness thought you and him were just here having a conversation. They're like, has anyone ever meet anyone named Fanny? He's like, no. He forgot that there's hundreds of people around. You were able to manage to make him forget that we are at a live show. Like, he literally answered you. So you said that you're retired, and then you said that you drive Uber, which to me sounds like the fucking opposite of retired, by the way. I mean,
Just feel actually spending money.
if that's what retirement is, I don't ever want to retire. So what did you retire from?
I used to work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Oh, that's right, the world's tiniest prison guard. How
Yup.
could I forget? How could I forget about you? This guy responsible for every escape ever. This fucking guy is out there fucking.
All
seems like
right.
out there with one of those paddle things with a ball, just doo-doo.
I can't even do that. I'm not even good at that.
Really? What are you good at, Jimmy?
Well, I guess not comedy, huh?
Jimmy, don't try to start making jokes now, okay?
Oh,
Tell
shit.
us what.
My bad, my
Tell
bad,
him,
my bad.
answer the questions. All right, Jimmy. I asked you. Wait, what did I ask you? I don't even remember. What
you
he is
asked
good
me?
at, or what you are good at?
What I'm good at? I don't know. I'm pretty good at training my dog, Baxter.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have you been able to train Baxter? to do?
He can, let's see here. I ain't gonna put him on the spot.
Oh shit.
He can catch like a tennis ball, like from really far away, and he can go in the water. I just looked here last week, so he's like going out in the water now and swimming, and so I'm just working with him and doing stuff like
He's
this.
swimming the opposite, or is he trying to get away from you?
Not yet, not yet.
That's fun, Jimmy. So you got a dog. So I'm guessing you're single, right?
No, no.
Oh, another married
I've been
man.
married 26 years.
Wow, that's so cool, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. I love it. What does she do?
She does. We have a company called Techstar Wastewater Services in Houston, so we do installs. We do
Oh, yeah, you know what?
septic systems. Remember my dad?
One last.
Yeah. No, yeah.
No, I knew he did. Like, can I feel your hands for a sec? Oh, wow, it actually softer than I expected.
Okay.
He kind of looked at me like I was one of his prison cells, dude. He's like,
Remember my dad was in Chicago talking about septic on the Chicago show?
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. I would have guessed that. I would have guessed that.
So what? So you've been working in prisons, and you're not working in prisons
No,
anymore?
I COVID messed me up.
How long did you work in prison?
20
for?
years to the
Wow.
day,
That's
do you do with these magazines? Do you like memorize?
Yeah, it's just, Pornhub and all that.
Oh,
They're
okay.
his best customers.
Okay, so when you go to Pornhub, what exactly do you type in?
Usually stepmom porn. I've had like 5 stepmoms.
There we go.
So,
You had like 5 stepmoms?
yeah, I've had 5 stepmoms
You
my
seem a
whole
little
life.
bit old then.
Over my whole life. Like my dad, if you don't remember, he got divorced like 5 times. So I had 5 stepmoms. So growing up, I might have been in their hampers, smelling their panties. I ain't
Oh shit, dude.
for real. Don't act like none of you motherfuckers ever did. I know some of y'all was smelling.
And in your height, it must be weird having to reach over the hamper to get the panties out. Smell them.
Yeah.
And then you have to shoot back in like a basketball. For those of you just listening to the podcast, Jimmy Stelz, amongst his many jobs, is also the vice president of the Lollipop. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna be the end of this episode. Where we at 2 hours? It sounds about right. Yeah, I'll definitely be back on in a little bit. I'm gonna kind of reset, refill, and re-engage, and then I'll finish off this page, do one last portrait down here, and yeah, man, we'll definitely move forward. This is one of my favorite pictures that I kind of photo bashed together, and yeah, I was looking forward to recreating it, and not terrible. I was kind of worried at first, but it all kind of worked out in the end. Looks good, looks decent, and and yeah, man, that's gonna be the end of this one. I'm G Mr. Drew. It's at G Mr. Drew on all social media. Links are in bio along with my website, gmrdrew.art. Definitely check that out. You can see everything that I've ever worked on. If work like this, if you like it, catches your attention, and you want to hire me for like any sort of freelance or anything like that, you can join my Patreon. Starting at $3 a month, you can get commissions off of me, or you could just straight up hire me off of Fiverr. Other than that, man, I'll always be back here. So yeah, man, follow, like, and subscribe. Any and all support is appreciated. Other than that, I'll be back in a little bit, man. Love y'all. Peace.